Good evening, welcome to tonight's show. We're talking tonight to Lucy and Pearl Siembida. I'm Art Tamrowski, and it's funny that the three of us should have Polish names, but we're going to talk tonight about the traditions of a Polish Christmas. So I have Lucy Siembida and Pearl Siembida. Welcome, welcome Pearl, welcome Lucy. Gee, you know, a month ago we talked about the Polish people living in the village of Perry.
Right.
And I think it's so nice that you guys are still around and that you're still remembering so much of the things that are so much of the past. And what excites me a lot is the fact that we've got some kind of a story that you wrote about Christmas in the Polish tradition. And I think with a lot of Polish descendants, my age and younger, we've lost contact with a lot of the language and the customs.
That's true.
It's true, isn't it?
It is true.
Yeah.
Because we know by our own family, the younger generation, they just didn't feel as though they wanted Polish. And but thank goodness our family is really carrying on the Polish Christmas tradition.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Pearl, together you do this, you and your sister, right?
That's right.
Gosh, you've written here, in Poland, as in many European countries, the time before Christmas is spent quietly preparing spiritually for the coming and the birth of our Lord, Jesus Christ. And later on you say that, of course, there is a different meaning for some, as there are some who are not awaiting the coming of the Lord, but are preparing for the holiday,
Right.
not the holy day.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, my God, Halloween, we got Halloween decorations still on the lawn, and a few Thanksgiving things sitting around, you know, year after year. And here we are in the early part of December, and we should be thinking in terms of the tradition of Christmas, right?
Right.
That is correct.
Now, you've got down here the Advent wreath, and you talk about Adventa? Advent
Advent is in
Okay.
Polish.
Okay.
Advent.
Now, in Polish, in English it's Advent, but tell us about the Advent, and then tell us about the Advent candle. Do you want to start with that?
Well, Advent is the tradition in Christianity, whether it is Polish or not. The Advent wreath. The first week you light the purple candle for repentance.
Mm-hmm. This one?
That is correct.
Okay.
The second week you light one for the birth, coming of the birth.
This one.
That is correct. The third week you light the pink one for rejoicing.
Mm-hmm.
And on the fourth week you light the purple one to celebrate the coming of Christ, the arrival of Christ,
The birth of
the
Birth of
birth
Christ.
of Christ.
Yeah. Now that's pretty much Catholicism.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the other Polish traditions that have come out of a country in middle, Europe, you talk so.
Wait,
You've got some other things
What
here.
he's got here. Here's where Kyle's got it.
Okay. So is Christmas your favorite holiday?
Oh, it is. It really is. Of all the holidays in the Polish tradition, Christmas is.
It far surpasses Easter?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think why it is because it's a joyous to me. It's isn't that what you think, Pearl?
That is
too?
correct. Yeah, it's joy.
You did gather around the Christmas tree in the early part of the 20th century, didn't
Oh,
you?
yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay. What are your earliest childhood memories of Christmas?
Well, one thing we could remember, there used to be a man that would dress up as a Santa Claus.
Uh-huh.
And this was all set up with our parents, you see. They knew he was coming. And he'd have a bag of things for us, And we just couldn't wait until Santa Claus came at that time.
Oh, did he arrive at Christmas Eve or Christmas morning?
Christmas Eve,
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve,
after our supper.
after your supper. Okay, one of the interesting things that you say is Christmas Eve, and say you wait for Santa Claus after your dinner.
And that is
so
correct.
that dinner is called the what?
Vigilia.
The Vigilia. Now that's right at say like 6 o'clock at night.
And that is correct.
Okay, now what do you eat at the Vigilia? What's on the menu?
It is all meatless, and we have the beginning of it. There's usually herring, and they're either done with sour cream, or some people have it with onions, and then your second is your soup, your borscht or mushroom soup.
Okay, the borscht?
Borscht,
Beet
soup.
Beet soup. And then you have your meatless. Everything is meatless. You have fish and pierogi that are made out of sauerkraut, and some people have them with potatoes, and you can have them with prunes and cheese.
That's all sort of inside one
Inside
little...
that it looks like a ravioli,
Mhm.
but that is what we call in Polish a pirog.
Yeah.
And then you have sauerkraut with split peas and what is it?
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
In one pierogi?
Oh, no, this is beside.
This is beside.
beside it.
Beside. You have cabbage with mushrooms and split peas. And then you have a boiled potato, just a plain boiled potato. And
Rye bread.
Rye bread, and kasha, which is buckwheat and rice, and that is all cooked, and it's none of that has any meat in it.
Okay, so you're fasting.
Right.
Fasting. That
And you've
is,
been fasting during the Advent period as well, right?
No, during Advent we don't. It's only during Lent when we fast.
Okay, but the Fridays in Advent.
Both Fridays, yeah.
It's
it's
meatless.
Meatless,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, now there's a certain myth that there must be an odd number of people seated at the table, Lucy?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they say if you should have one person empty for a person to come in. Or else they have another myth that if you don't have it, somebody's going to pass away during that.
Oh my
year.
gosh, yeah. So you better have an extra
Extra
empty
chair,
chair.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's nice in case somebody does come in, it does exert hospitality.
that is correct.
How nice. Okay, so now the meal begins with the breaking of the bread.
Of the
Of the wafer.
Opłatek.
Opłatek, you call it.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, and I always call it płatki bread, but this is the opłatek.
Opłatek.
Now, I'm holding this up here now. I don't know if our Dan, the man, is going to pick that up. But can you see the impressions, the embossed figures of the Nativity? Okay, now tell us about that.
Go ahead,
Go
Brian.
ahead.
Well, this is a płatek, which means the man of the house gives it to everybody around the table, and you break it from it. You wish the next person good luck, good happiness, good wealth, and then you always have to add the forgiveness during the year, you know.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. And then you eat this, you know, after you break it.
That was like a communion.
It is,
wafer.
yeah, it's, that's the way
So
they
everybody takes a piece
pass
and passes
it, yeah, and you break it. So you hold it, and I'll say to you, I wish you luck, good health, happiness, and forgiveness.
And forgiveness. That's good, thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's good. And then the opłatek bread starts, and then you go on with the menu of the
Right,
pierogies. Okay. And there wouldn't be any galunkies on that.
Oh, no, that's not
has
needed.
meat.
I know. Okay, so it's a total fast.
Oh, definitely.
And then after that, that's when the Santa Claus
Comes in,
pokes around, huh?
yeah. Oh, that's the joy of the children, yeah.
Okay. And so those are the nice memories that you had.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, waiting for something. What was a gift that would that would just sort of boggle your mind in the 1920s and the 1930s as a young person?
Well,
We
I-
could-
They usually gave us an orange and a tablet and a pencil.
that's what Santa Claus.
That's what Santa Claus always brought.
Wow.
And that was a big joy then, you
I
see.
know.
And the man that was dressed as Santa Claus used to go to the city and buy little gifts. And then when he came to the houses, the people used to give him a quarter or a half a dollar to reimburse him for the gifts that he gave their children.
No kidding. Some of the gifts, like the tablet and the pencil, that quarter kind of reimbursed him?
That's
Right.
right.
And then too, I must add, we have this Dompolsky on Water Street.
Yes.
And so we would have a party there, and Santa Claus would be there, and the same thing. He would give us the apple or orange and tablet and all.
Another tablet.
Oh, yes. Oh, 8 years ago, that was a joy for us. You see, we weren't very financially fit, you see, so any little thing like this. And another thing I could remember, my aunt, who was my father's sister from Depew, used to come, and she used to bring this big box of stuff for us.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, boy, we enjoyed that. Remember that,
That's
Pearl?
right.
How we waited for Cha-Cha and Gzip to come.
Excellent. My gosh. Now, the special preparations on the table, you put bits of hay and straw on the table, right?
Oh, yes, when for the apwatek, we didn't bring it, but that's what we do, and put or else a napkin like this, and you cover the straw or hay,
I
whichever.
see. And that was like, that followed around the Advent wreath, that was in the center of the...
Right.
Yeah.
Did you do any singing at all?
Oh, yes, after we finished eating, we sat, or we'd go around the Christmas tree, and we would sing, Lulai, Lulai. Did you ever hear that?
Never heard that.
Never heard
No.
that?
Sing it together.
Oh, no, we don't know it. And then we just sing, Gdy się Chrystus rodzi. Did you ever hear that?
No. Do you sing that at the Polish church?
Oh,
St.
yes.
Joe's?
At
Midnight
Midnight
Mass?
Mass. Oh, yeah, that's another thing that we really enjoy.
I'd
is-
like to tape that if you get a large choir there this year. You know?
No, we don't.
Oh, I know,
Well-
yeah.
No, we don't. We just have a few people that, and then the congregation
Chimes
chimes in.
Okay. Okay, now you talk about the Christmas tree. You sit around the Christmas tree. Now that's not a Polish tradition, is it? Having the Christmas tree?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. In Poland, they used to have it. Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, December 5th was what they call Świętego Mikołaja, Saint Nicholas.
Oh, yes.
That was in Poland, and that's when the children would really, man would get dressed too.
Yeah, and they received gifts then. Christmas was celebrated more on that St. Michael's. And he came dressed in a robe and carried a shepherd's cane with him. And then he gave the children gifts.
See, in Poland, they were very religious up there, you know.
It's one of the most religious Catholic countries in the
Yes, there is.
European.
Right. That's what brought them through all these years.
Yeah, broke down the curtain in 1989.
Right.
I mean, the only thing that they had to fear was the Catholic Church, you know. And so, now after the meal, after the exchange of presents and everything like that, then you went to midnight.
Midnight Mass, which we call pasterka, or Shepherd's Mass.
Shepherd's Mass. And to this day, we have midnight Mass all over the United States.
Yes, and we have it in our little church, St. Stanislaus Kostka, and we sing at 11:30. We have Christmas carols for a half hour. We sing.
This sounds like a commercial, but go ahead. Well, with Christmas coming up soon, why not, you know?
So,
It's a beautiful little church.
oh yes,
Something to be very proud of.
We are. We're very proud of our little church. We have a few parishioners, but we still are
You
there.
hang in there and you support the
Right.
pastor
That
very
is
well.
correct.
Okay, now, so you come home from midnight mass and then you go to bed. And then it's Christmas Day.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you.
Oh, sure.
Years ago, when our parents were alive, my mother and father, that was another thing that we celebrated. After Pastetica, we would have people come to our house.
Really?
Oh, yes, and of course we would have beverages and Polish ham and kielbasa, you
Because it
know.
was Christmas Day after
That was
midnight.
Christmas Day. That was the.
It was after Pastetica we used to have
Oh, yes,
people.
that is correct, yeah.
Because then Christmas Day was quiet. It was quiet.
It was. Okay, so there was no racing downstairs to the Christmas tree because the gifts were all
Well,
over.
that is-
Oh, definitely, yeah. It was all over with Christmas.
So did you then go to Christmas Day Mass?
Sometimes,
Sometimes.
sometimes we did. But you see, as long as you went to the midnight mass, you did your obligation for the Christmas Day
Yes.
in the Catholic religion.
Okay, so being a quiet day, you would go and visit somebody, wouldn't you?
Oh, yes, or else we'd have company come to us.
You would go over to your neighbors and see if they got a tablet and a pencil.
Oh, no, no, because our neighbors were of different nationality.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, where we lived, we just had a few Polish people.
They would stop by.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Now, you had a Christmas Day dinner. Was there a special menu on that?
No, it was just regular,
Regular, usually we had a chicken,
Uh-huh.
or ham.
or a chicken or ham.
Did you ever
Again.
have like a goose?
No.
No,
No,
that
we
was a
didn't.
luxury, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
A duck. What about a duck?
No, we never had that.
No, and never prime rib beef.
Oh, no,
My God, it's like talking to somebody from another century.
no. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, can you believe where you were, X number of years ago, as opposed to now? Now you have these beautiful hams.
Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, it really, when I was growing up, our folks weren't that financially fit.
Uh-huh.
So we were very limited in what we had.
Sure.
So, but when Christmas came along, well, that was a different thing.
Yeah, you pull all the stops
Stuff,
out.
yeah.
You do everything. Now, the Christmas season really begins in Advent. It culminates on Christmas morning, or Christmas Eve, but then it goes on to Epiphany, doesn't it?
Right.
I mean, a lot of people, when I remember back in Lancaster, Dubuque, didn't take the trees down until January 6th.
Right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. And so tell me about Epiphany here.
Well, that's the Three Kings.
That's when the three kings arrived in Bethlehem.
Right. And we have, well, sometimes a priest would come to the house and would mark your door.
Really?
Yeah. With the Three Kings,
Uh-huh.
K
And
and B.
That's what I saw here. I
Yeah.
saw the names.
Yeah, see, Casper, Melchior, and Blaise. See, the
Say Balthazar?
And you'd put, and of course, I was going to bring this. In church, we used to get chalk and with incense and foil
Uh-huh.
and myrrh. And so then, if the priest didn't come, you yourself would, over the door, would put a cross and then KM and plus, cross it over your door. And that would mean that, I guess it was,
There's a belief that this will spare the homes from misfortune.
right. So that was another
yeah. And
thing
we
that we
still
do.
do that.
You still do that?
Uh-huh.
The KMB.
For the Three Kings.
That's very interesting. And it took from December 25th to January 6th for the kings to travel across the deserts to get to Bethlehem.
Right.
Okay, now, I see here Candlemass Day. Now, do you know anything about Candlemass Day?
Well, that's in February.
That's in February, and they bless the candles in church, and then the priest blesses everybody's throat
Okay.
to keep you healthy.
Mhm. Okay, because someone had Candlemass here on
Yeah.
the notes, and I was just wondering what that would have been. But, it's really interesting. I get a kick, in our own way, and I mean, I was born a lot later than you, but then too, my father died during World War II. He was just only 38 years old, so when he died, my mother worked in a war plant, and she just had to do what she could to exist, and so we didn't go through the tradition, so I lost a little bit of it along the way, but today, to this day, there's little things that do come up. I mean, we do exchange presents Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
and we do have a meatless dinner, but I love how it all sort of formulates from, Polish immigrants from the early part of
And our aunt and our mother used to do all the cooking that day. They didn't do it like they do now ahead of time and put it in a freezer, the pierogi. That day they cooked all day long, making pierogi and the kapusta and boiling the potatoes and everything. And you were done eating within an hour's time when they prepared it all day long.
Yes, that would have been a real feast. Now, the pierogis were not frozen.
No, my mother, I could remember, we'd be eating, we were supposed to eat at 6 o'clock, and at 4 o'clock, she's still making pierogi.
And does anybody help in the kitchen?
My aunt and my mother. And us kids used to set the table and get out of their way.
How many kids were in your family?
Well, there were 7 of us, and our 4 cousins always came. We were always together every year.
It's like talking about life on another planet. I see you wearing these symbolic, patriotisms from last September.
Oh, we got that in our church.
How wonderful. And hang on to them,
Oh, yeah. It's,
There was a unity in the country as a result of what happened way back in September.
it's a sad
It's
situation.
a terrible stand. It's a disgrace to humanity.
But we're so lucky to be able to have all of these traditions, the freedom that we're having.
Yes, in any other country, you'd been booted out or shot or
Right.
killed. I mean, so many Polish people came over here from the late 1800s to the early 1900s, and we're all over America. And that's where the Mexicans and the Hispanics are now. They're entering this country. We all came to work and build something of our lives. And you said you had very little means, but look where you are today. Healthy, a roof over your head, and as one person said, we all live better than 75% of the world. So on that note, I want you to say Merry Christmas to me in Polish.
Well, it's Wesołych Świąt, or else it's Bożego Narodzenia, that's another way. And then for Happy New Year, it says Wesołego Nowego Roku.
Do people in town know what you're talking about?
I doubt it. Our priest does.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, I'll just say Merry Christmas. I wish I could say it.
Wesołego.
Wesołego.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for watching, and everybody out there, have a Merry Christmas, and thank you, Pearl and Lucy Siembida. Thanks again.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for
Have a nice
inviting
New
us.
Year, too.
All right, thank you.